when CIA brings us on board, our very first onboarding meeting happens in a place called the Bubble. The Bubble is a giant conference hall that sits outside the front door of CIA's old headquarters building, or OHB. If you pull it up on Google Maps, if you pull up CIA on Google Maps and you zoom in as much as Google Maps will let you, you'll find this circle in front of the front door, a huge circle in front of the front door. It's actually a giant golf ball, and inside is our auditorium. It's called the Bubble, right? It literally looks like a bubble. Anyways, we're inside the Bubble for our first kind of onboarding session. And one of the speakers comes up and explains to us, hey, your whole life, you have lived in a building, right? Just picture a building. What I call it is a shed. Picture like a backyard shed full of cobwebs. It's old and busted. It's been beaten down by the weather. You're inside this shed, and it's all you've ever known. It keeps you dry. It keeps you warm against extreme cold. It keeps you cool against extreme heat. But it only has like 3 windows, right? And each of those 3 windows has been faded with age. So when you look through the window, you can see that there's a world outside. You can see that there's trees. You can see that there's mountains. You can see that there's a stream. But you don't know the true color because the window has been faded. So what would be a vibrant yellow looks like a faded yellow. And what looks like what could be a vibrant blue sky looks like a faded blue sky. But you're inside this shed, and it's all you've ever known. The vast majority of people look through the window, and they're satisfied. Oh, I get light from this window. I have a new view. I can watch the days turn to night. I can watch the deer walk by. I'm very content in my shed. But for a few of us, we're like, what does that look like on the other side of the window? What does it feel like out there? Even if it is colder than it is in here, even if it is hotter than it is in here, I want to know the truth. What does the sky really look like? What does the rain feel like? What does hail do to my skin? And for those people, we want out of the shed. But the problem is that the shed is packed with people. So just because you want out doesn't mean that the other people are going to give you space to get to the door. So if you really want to get out of the shed, you either have to fight your way through all those people to get to the door, fight your way past the people who are trying to keep the door shut. It's a fight to get out the door of the shed because nobody else wants to leave. Your only other option to see the world the way it really is to shatter the glass, to break that window. Let the elements into the shed, ruin everybody's life, ruin everybody's comfort, but it gives you a chance to see what's really out there. And once you see what's really out there, you only have one option: to fight your way back to that door and get out so that you can see the real world. The problem is that so many of us want to get on the outside of the shed, but we don't want to fight to get to the front door. And we know that if we break the window, we're going to piss everybody off. We've been conditioned to let the window be and don't fight anybody because you're a bad person. If you cause somebody else inconvenience or discomfort, or if you fight with them too much, you're the problem. So stay in your shed and be happy. That's what happened. And we end up spending our whole life fighting back and forth between these two thoughts. Do I sit here and accept this, or do I fight for the front door? And we never really make a decision, so we end up by default doing what's conditioned into us and staying still. But for some of us, we break through the window. We piss everybody off. We fight for the front door, because what really happens is once you piss everybody off, they want you the fuck out of the shed anyways. So break the window, part the seas, and get outside, and then be ready. Because once you taste what really exists on the other side of the shed, there's no going back in that shed. They will not let you come back. And even if you do go back, you broke a window. So it's better to figure it out after that. Be ready for the ride of a lifetime, because you're going to be colder and wetter than you've ever been. But you're also going to see more than just what you saw through that window, and you're going to have more opportunity to find what really exists in the world.
So you're saying you got kicked out of the CIA?
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, I kicked myself out of CIA. That's right. But they're not having me back.
That's right. Yeah. You're like, I broke the windows in that golf ball building, and they didn't let me back in.
Fresh on me.